So we're living in a virtual world now where so much of our presentation, so many of our conversations are done online. And we want to talk today. We're going to have an interesting conversation about how to be a good presenter online. And in Socks to Success, my latest book, we talk about, building your brand to help you be more referable and make it easier for prospects to decide to purchase from you. And presenting online is one of the ways that we can do it. I'm very excited to be joined today by Warwick, and he is coming to us from across the globe. He is over in Australia, where here I am in the United States. We're super excited to have him here with us. He is a certified speaking professional and a certified virtual presenter. Oh, I've done that too. But he just really loves to work with people and really focusing on how to have more powerful presentations, not only online, but also online, which is here where we're at today. So, Warwick, thank you for being here.
Absolute pleasure to be here. I'm in the future. I'm coming to you from tomorrow. So let me let you know it's a very nice start to a Friday. You're going to have a great day.
Very, very excited. And tell us a little bit. You've got a lot of things popping up there on the screen. What are all those little icons there?
Oh, look here, let me show you. I don't want to waste a good opportunity to have the bouncing baubles of destiny come across. So I'm a triple certified presenter. So I'm a certified speaking professional with the Professional Speakers Association. I'm also a doubly certified virtual presenter, both with e-speakers and also with Power Women Online. Now, you might say to yourself, but you're not a woman. And you'd be correct. But I'm the first male to receive that accreditation through them, which was very humbling, I got to say. So I've been doing this for quite some time, pre-pandemic. What is it, BC, before COVID as well. So I know. Remember then? Remember those old days?
I like that.
Yeah. So I've been doing it for a while, and I've learned a lot of things along the way. And I've also learned to be a little bit more gentle with myself. So it's not that I must get it right, and if you don't, then you're doing it bad. It's just like, let's just do this for now and see what happens.
Well, and one of the things I love, we're here live. So for those of you out there in the viewing audience, feel free to put into the comments any questions that you may have for Warwick, and we'll see on how your ideas on how to be a good presenter, or we'll even talk about how to be a great presenter. Let's kind of take things to the next level. And I don't know about you, I find that being live, there's less pressure than if I'm trying to record a video, which is not the topic of the conversation, but Tiffanie tangent, and then we'll get back to how to be a good presenter online.
But you're so true. Like when you're recording, you're like, oh, I've got to get this perfect and it must be right. But when it's live, it's like, let's just see how it goes. Let's see what comes up. Hey, let's see what direction it goes. And I find it, I need less preparation. I have permission to waffle a bit more because you're sort of looking at where the conversation's going to go. But they are more interactive. So when you get someone who's asking questions, I've had a few live streams of my own that have just gone left in the middle of a conversation because of questions that have come up relevant to the topic. And so I think that's one of the power of it. So I'm a big fan of the old live stream, I must confess.
I agree with you. I like it much myself. So we're here today, though, to talk about how to be a good presenter online. So what are your thoughts? How do I be a good presenter online? And why do I want to be a good presenter online?
And the thing is, you don't need to be a good presenter. You want to be a great presenter. Why be good when you can be great? And the thing is, most people are absolute rubbish online. And so therefore it doesn't take much to stand out to be a bit better. And look, and I've had conversations with my speaking professional friends, and what I've said to them from the very BC before COVID, but even now, is two words that, and that is get better. Don't just take your old presentation and go, let's put that online. Get better. If you're a manager or an entrepreneur and you have meetings with people, don't just do the same old thing like, oh, it's another meeting and here we go with the agenda. It's like, it doesn't take much to just get better. So I have what I call the Holy Trinity, which is the first thing that, in fact, I think we've got the Trinity here. Here we go. There they are. The Holy Trinity, these are the three things that you've really got to get right. First one is your lighting. So you'll see where I've got a little bit of coloured light behind myself. I've got a bit of a light over there. I've got a diffuser on the ceiling. It just spreads it nicely. Let's face it, this isn't the most attractive face. I might sound like Chris Hemsworth, but I do not look like him. But the lighting really just lights it up properly. The second thing is composition. Where's the shot? Now, you and I are both head at the top of the box. We're sort of sitting fairly central with my little picture. I might slide to one side. You've got a nice you've got your bookshelf and your pop-up things there. So it's just looking lovely. So it's a nice composition. And for those of you who know the rule of thirds, it's about being in the top or the left so that there is a clear focus. Too many people will have, and just excuse me as I do this, they'll just go, oh, hi, I'm ready for the meeting. And there's all this dead space around. So it's very simple. Oh, there's my bald patch. Just get your composition going.
Let's talk about that because, it's like, do people not, they're looking at themselves on the camera and they're like, over here. I love the ones that's like up the nose, or I was doing one the other day and it was like, do they not realize?
It's like food sticking over, Yeah. And this is the thing. It's so simple. We're talking about, that's why I'm like, don't just be good, be great, because it doesn't take much to be great. So, and look, and let me quickly go back to lighting. I'm not saying you've got to spend thousands of dollars on, pro lights. Can I tell you, it cost me maybe $100 to have, I've got a light behind me, an LED one, and a dodgy lamp holder that I had in the back room that I can change colors depending on the brand or my feeling at the time. The light over here I spent money on is an LED. The one above me is just my standard room light with a diffuser on it. So it's not a down light. It's one that just spreads the light a bit. That's it. That's my lighting, right? And so I'm not saying, oh, you've got to get the pro box light sets. No, you can, but my theory is use what you've got. And for most of us, we've got a few lamps lying around. So if you've just got a spotlight lamp, you can put baking paper or greased paper in front of it, and that's fireproof. So if it gets too hot, it's not going to burst into flames, but it diffuses nightly. You could put a bit of an old shower screen or a pillow slip. That will diffuse the light a little bit so it's less soft. Those ring lights everyone has, I hate them because you can see in their glasses and their eyeballs these round lights. But if you just put a bit of baking paper over it, all of a sudden it becomes a diffused light and it's so much softer, but still gives you some really nice lighting. So it doesn't take much. Same with composition. My thing is I always go, I want to be like the pros. So what do the pros do? I look at Hollywood movies. So Hollywood movies, sometimes they'll have a close-up, but they're never this close, right? So they're sort of, nice sort of chest body. Newsreaders are another. Look at what newsreaders do, or those late-night celebrities with, hey, the top 10 things you need to do to be a great speaker. This is the kind of shot they've got. My background, I used to have bookshelves there, and I found people would start to go like this as they try and see what was on the bookshelf. So it's now very, if I just go back to this shot, like it's just very simple, but they're on-brand things. I've got, a microphone and, of course, my Academy Award because...
Of course.
I'd like to thank the Academy. And, in fact, what it was a fancy dress party, and I won Best Dress. But,
nobody has
it's
to know.
just something that... It's just, but so many people ask about it, but it's a very bland, simple setup because it's not distracting, because I want people to focus on me and the content, not what's on my back shelf. That gets us to the third one, and this one is the most important, that's your sound. So if your head's a bit weird or the lighting's not right, I'll put up with it. I will not put up with bad sound. I don't know if you've listened to podcasts and you're just like, oh, this recording's crap, I'm turning it off. Or you're listening to someone, but there sounds these massive echoes, or they're scratchy, or the dogs, and it's too hard for me to hear what they're saying, and it's taking too much energy. I will turn it off. So get your sound right. And people will often say, well, what's the best microphone? It's not about the microphone. It's about the room. You've got to look at what's the room. So if you're doing this from your kitchen bench with a beautiful polished granite top and your windows everywhere, there's barely a microphone that's going to stop the echoes you're going to have. Yeah. So do you need to have a comforter or a doona or a blanket or whatever it is you call it in your country to muffle some of it? Do you need to put a rug on the floor? Me personally, I'm in my spare room, so I have my cupboard door open because that's where my clothes are, and clothes are a brilliant sound absorber. So that's absorbing some of the sound. Plus, I've put some cheap foam I got off the internet. I've just stapled it to the wall, and I've got a little shotgun mic so you don't have to see it. And it just picks up, and I think it sounds pretty good. It's not perfect. It's not like I don't have the deep radio DJ voice, but I've got a nice sort of sound. So they're the Holy Trinity that I think are so important to get right. And the only other one that I'd add to that, this is your bonus, because I do like bonuses, and that is look straight down the barrel of the camera. So the one bit of technology you could invest in that wouldn't cost you too much is a sticky note. Write the words "look here" on it and stick it just under the camera. So if you do those 4 things, you're like 90% ahead of everybody else.
Well, and I know I've seen, for those of you that have a hard time looking at the sticky, I've seen Gina Carr uses, what's the Plexi Cam?
Yeah, Plexicam.
Oh, that's the name of it. See, that makes it easy.
Yeah, it's Plexicam. And you get mixed results with that. Some people like it. Other people go, I can't see all of my screen. For me, because most of my work is hosting and producing events, I've got 3 screens here. And so I've just trained myself to not look at the people. So at the moment, if I want to look at you, I've got to go like this, but that's not really engaging for you. So I've just trained myself to, I can look out the corner of my eye, and every now and then I'm glancing down, but it's just look at the camera, and you get used to it after a while. And for me, some people go, oh, I'll get a teleprompter. So often what I say is not written, not scripted. So it's just not worth the money for me.
Love it. I mean, if you know your stuff, do you really need to give us that like word for word speech?
Yeah.
And I think you and I are probably very similar. I don't go to an online presentation that could be a video.
Correct. And this is what I say to a lot of the event organizers.
What are your thoughts?
I
went to a conference, and it's like a 30-minute, I mean, they literally played a video. I'm like, I could have watched this beforehand. Because when I watch a video on YouTube, I could at 1 1/4 or 1.5 speed. I don't need to watch a video during a presentation.
Oh, Tiffanie, you need to catch up. I watch all my videos on double speed. Like, seriously, like, who's got time for that? So it's the same. I'm the same. And this is what I've said. In this area, in this digital era, our delegates, they no longer want an event done to them. They want it done with them. So how can they be part of it? And if it's a video, you're right. Here's some pre-watching for it, or here's something irrelevant. Watch this. Great. But don't have me go along, sign up, and have to sit there and watch something. The only exception to that would be I'm happy to watch a video if the presenter is in the chat box and adding extra information so I can then interact. Because I don't know about you, but when I watch a movie nowadays, typically I'm sitting on my couch, I have my phone in my hand, I'm like, who's that actor? And I look up IMDb, what that's actress been in, da-da-da-da-da. So we're doing the same at our events. So it's like I can watch the person, but I'm in the chat box going, oh, you know what they said about da-da-da-da-da? Who else has done that? I've done. And so make it about the delegate. So as you and I have said, you can't just go, here's my 1-hour presentation that I used to do face-to-face. I'll now jump online and listen to my amazing knowledge, for I am speaking to you as the font of every. No, it's got to be this interactive, and every sort of 7 to 10 minutes, the delegates have to be doing something, but not doing it for the sake of, well, Warwick said every 7 minutes they have to do something. It's like there has to be a purpose. There has to be a reason for it, and they have to see the value. It's funny, I was hosting an event the other day, and there was an economist speaker came on who had all these complex graphs and was talking about the future of this, that, and the other, and 5-year predictions, which I thought was very brave, considering back in 2015 when someone said, where will you be in 5 years? No one said, sitting on the couch watching Netflix, saving people's lives. So 5-year looks are just interesting. Anyway, so he said, oh, now coming up, he got to the nearly end of his spot, and obviously it's twigged, I must do interaction. And he said, oh, so coming up, there's 4 key reasons as what we think is going to happen for next year. Put in the chat box what you think it is. And he just waffled for a minute while people were typing stuff in. And then he said, well, I can't really read the chat box, so here's the 4 things. Bang. So I'm like, why would you ask a question that you can't answer? Like, insane. Insane.
I hear so many people like, I'm waiting for things to go back to normal. What's the, when we get back there? And I'm like, I don't think we're ever going back to normal.
Yeah, and the reality is this is normal. Right here, right now, this day is normal. Normal's a mathematical term which means average. Like, what's the average thing that people are doing? I know the US, and same with Europe and same with Australia, is our geography sometimes is a big barrier. One of my clients, we did an awards night for them that went for an hour and a half. We're giving awards, bit of fun, doing some great stuff online. And they said afterwards, we will never go back to face-to-face. We will only ever do this awards night virtually. And the reason for it was when they do it face-to-face, because they're a relatively medium-sized company. Their head office is here in Melbourne, but they've got branches all around Australia. They're like, when we do the awards, we would only have 25, 30% of our staff. When we do it online, we had 95% of our staff. Why would we not do it that way? And the cost, minimal, because I can do it all online. I've got a bit of an AV producer, and we can add a bit of whiz bang. I've got no airfares, I've got no accommodation, I've got no meals. It goes for an hour and a half. And people get to sleep in their own home. I don't have resistance on having to travel. It's safe, in this age of, we haven't conquered COVID. It's still going to take a fair while. We want to keep our people safe. Online is safe. And so it's one of the reasons I'm a huge fan of it. So my thing is, we will do face-to-face. There is some things that you can do face-to-face you cannot do. But personally, I would be hesitant getting in a room with 1,000 other people. And so therefore, we can do our big events. Why wouldn't you do them online? There's a whole, don't get me started on the concept of sponsorship in the digital age, because there's a challenges there. But, it is doable.
So I was perusing your book the other day, more inspiration, and it talks about lines, and I'm wondering on page 97, how important you think page 97 is for those online presentations. No, I wouldn't make you try and remember. I don't remember what page number is on any of my books. It talks about smiling.
That's it. I've got to tell you, smiling is so important. And this and particularly so for online, I was going to say it depends on your topic, but it doesn't, because smiling is a great way to engage with anyone, regardless of your topic. Here's the thing. When it comes to online, the only energy in the room is the energy you bring. And so therefore, you've got to bring more energy. It's that simple. It's a huge tip, and I can't remember where I got it from, but I share it with all of my presenter friends or managers who are running meetings. When you're online, and even when you're presenting face-to-face, to be honest, you've got to be yourself amplified. So if you're a Southern Belle, embrace that and do that. I do declare, go the full thing and embrace that this is part of who you are. But you've got to be authentic as well. So you can't be this. I think we've all seen speakers who are like, you can do anything. It's amazing. Just apply yourself, but you'll be up. It's like we're all like, they're an idiot. So therefore, it's be yourself, but amplified. So you've got to bring that energy. Smiling is a great way to do that. So it also releases endorphins for yourself and gives you a bit of a buzz as you're doing it. And this is why I always like to see everyone's face on the screen, because I can relate to them. I actually use their names. So this is the thing when it comes to engaging people. Interaction is not engagement. Engagement is something, it's just something a bit different. So, and a great way to engage is use people's names. It's the one word that they would do anything for. If you know someone's name and you shout it out in the middle of a shopping center, their head will turn around. So therefore, on screen, you'll be like, oh, Tiff, I love the way you got a pop-up there in the background. And, oh, look, here's Crystal. She's got that, and John's got one, so you can use their names. And it just, all of a sudden, they're like, oh, they're talking about me. And they'll smile and everything will be good. And it just adds that a bit more energy. In the same way, you've probably noticed, I'm speaking a little bit faster than usual. And part of that is it brings more energy. It brings more excitement to what we're talking about. One of my video editing tips that I got off the internet somewhere, and if you see it on the internet, it's true. What they were saying is when you edit a video, even if there's a pause where you're taking a breath, delete it, because it's a space that they can leave. So therefore, when you're presenting, it's like speak it a little bit faster because it keeps them engaged. They've got to pay attention. They've got to see what's coming up, but don't go so fast they can't hear it. Now, having said that, for those of you who have trouble listening to the Australian accent, I'm sorry I've been speaking a little bit too fast for you, and I can slow down if you need.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. When I'm speaking to a mainland audience, this is kind of normal speed because I'm just a fast talker. If I'm speaking to a foreign audience, I did a presentation to a group of media. I tried to slow a little bit just because it's not necessarily their native language. But yeah, we got to bring the energy, and smiling is such a great way. Towards Tom Flemings likes to say, if you're happy and you know it, tell your face. And it's like, yeah.
Yep.
Let's look.
It's so true. It's so true. But I'm going to tell you one of the other things that's really cool, and this is a feature I only realized that Zoom has only realized recently. I was presenting in Russia, and I don't know about you, but my Russian is pretty poor, and their English was okay. But Zoom you can have multiple audio channels, so they had an interpreter on or translator. So as I was talking, she was translating. But here's the thing, people said, oh, well, did you slow down? I'm like, no, because they were laughing real time with my jokes, not because they understood, but they understood the energy. And so they could see when I was excited. They'd see when I would laugh at my own jokes, and I laugh at my own jokes a lot. And so they would laugh along with they would laugh along with me. And then when we had Q&A, she would come on and translate into English for me, because they can hear the English at about 20% volume, and then the Russian or whatever language at the 100% volume. So they can hear a bit of both. So if their English is okay, but, you know, just good to have the backup. So that's a really cool thing that exists out there. And I'm sure it's on other platforms as well. But yeah, it is about really matching your presentation to your audience.
So I know you've given us some tips. You gave us the Holy Trinity +1, and you got some other tips to give us. If people want to go, I know you've got a video that they can watch. If you want to tell us where we can go to get your 7 keys to creating that amazing presentation.
This is the thing. People came to me early and said, how do I do this better? And I thought, well, there's 7 key things you really got to get right. So it's a free download. Head to onlinepresenterpro.com/get7keys. If you head there, there's a 20-minute video which just quickly goes through what those 7 keys are. There's a couple of bonus ones too. And there's also a companion PDF which talks about, if you're the kind of person who's a reader, not a watcher, as you know, Tiff and I said before, I'd like to watch stuff double speed, get through this. I don't have time. I'm more of a reader. I'll scan, but other people, like, I struggle with podcasts to listen to. Anyway, so that's there. Get that. It's a freebie. It's a download. It's got some good stuff in it. So check that out.
Awesome. Well, I want to say thank you so much for being here with us today as we explore a little bit of this conversation. I know we could probably talk for 2, 3, 4 more hours just on how to be a great online presenter and still not even scratch the surface. So, as you're watching this, what are your thoughts? How do you be a better online presenter? And as Warwick mentioned at the beginning, he is I should know these because I'm them too. Got both of the virtual presenters. So CVP, Certified Virtual Presenter, which is done through eSpeakers, as well as the certified. She's going to kill me for this. You
Power
fill
Women
it in.
Online.
I'm like,
yeah. So triple certified speaking professional with Professional Speakers Australia, and also a certified virtual presenter with eSpeakers, and also Power Women Online Global.
Power Women Online. That's on being the first male that got that designation.
Thank you very much. Look, I can say I have presented in a dress before. For anyone who knows Dame Edna Everidge, I dressed up and I was in full character as Dame Edna. Doing gala awards, and my wife said it was one of the most interesting things she's ever done to go into a shop and say, "Hi, I'm here for my husband's dress." So, but I will do whatever it takes. As I said to you before, I'm a bit of a prostitute. I'll do what it takes to get the money.
Well, thank you so very much for being here, helping us be amazing online presenters, and thanks y'all for watching. And we look forward to seeing you soon. Happy New